So Charlie Kirk championed free speech and encouraged younger generations to have open and honest debates, and he took those ideas with him to every campus he visited.
What is a woman?
I think a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman.
Got it. So that's not a definition. That's like saying a table is something that identifies as a table. Give me an objective definition of what a woman is.
If I decided right now that I wanted to identify as a woman, I would be a woman.
Okay, but that doesn't answer the question.
I know, but right now I'm a man, right? So if that happened right now, I'd be a woman.
You create a company that's like close to being a fascist. Like,
okay. How am I?
Sorry.
Let's go through this. How am I a fascist?
Dude, like
Can you name one thing I believe that's fascist?
You believe that you are.
I'm such a bad fascist. I let the people who disagree in open mic to talk to me for 2 hours uninterrupted.
Okay.
I'm an awful fascist.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared? You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old, right? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor talking to you?
Than a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
So interesting. However, a new study finds that too many U.S. colleges are actually suppressing free speech. The study surveyed 257 colleges, and of those, 166 received an F for the free speech climate on campus. Let's bring in Fox News contributor Guy Benson. Guy, there is a hope out there that maybe that's going to begin to change with the anti-Semitism being called out for the first time and the impact of Charlie Kirk. But your thoughts about the current climate on those campuses?
Well, it's bleak, Brian, and it's been bleak for a while. And Charlie was trying to break through that and have the sorts of conversations that have been stifled, often with the basically complicity of the universities themselves. There has been this really, I think, dangerous and freedom-crushing fallacy that words that might upset someone are akin to violence. And I think that has helped, unfortunately, create a permission structure for actual violence in response to speech, which is anathema to the American project and anathema to free speech itself. And that has been at least somewhat embraced by a lot of administrations who have cowered in fear or worse. And Charlie was one of the people trying to push back against it by going there and saying, no, we're going to have these conversations. Here's a microphone. Let's debate. And he was killed. He was murdered in the process of doing exactly that on a campus of all places. And it's just, it's one of the many sickening layers to what happened this week.
36% of the students say it was extremely or very clear their college administration protects free speech. So 3 of 10 feel like their colleges got their back. But 34% of students say using violence to stop someone from speaking on campus is acceptable. Clearly, one guy thinks that, and hopefully we'll catch him soon. But, Guy, what does it mean for the future of conservatives like you, for example, Ben Shapiro and others, who go to campuses and want to speak and address these audiences? Does it mean they're going to not book you guys, or does it mean it's not going to be affordable to get the right security?
Yeah, it cannot mean that they don't book us to come speak anymore. That cannot be the outcome. You can't have people murder a prominent conservative during free speech on a college campus and have the response be, oh, well, we shouldn't have those types of people here anymore. That is exactly the wrong impulse and wrong reaction, and I really hope that's not the case. Now, you mentioned the cost. This has also been used in the past. Now, we've escalated to the point of a gruesome murder, but now for years we've had conservative or right-leaning speakers canceled on campuses because you have some leftists who threaten violence, right? So they threaten to disrupt or to get violent, and then people, the adults supposedly in the room, say, oh, well, we can't have that, and that'll cost a lot more for security to secure the event, and so we can't afford that. And so it's this backdoor way, this excuse that they create to not allow free speech on campus. And when you have some people's speech that becomes literally less free, Brian, because of the costs associated with security, that is another very dark component to this.
Just your opinion. They have this huge organization with this great impact, but there's no Charlie Kirk heir apparent. What's the best thing for this organization to do? They got a 15-stop tour. The first stop stopped him. What should this group do?
Boy, it's such a tough question because right now, I'll just say it, I'm not sure what the best course of action is for them because that's a shattered group of people who loved and admired Charlie, and he's been taken from us, ripped away in this unspeakable, unbearably sad and horrific way. I think everyone is still just processing this new reality. I think there needs to be some healing. Right. We're still, awaiting a funeral and that sort of thing. In due time, in due course, they're going to have to make some really important decisions to keep that torch held high. Right now, I think it's just processing and grieving, and it should be.
I think maybe if one of the Trump sons stepped in and provided some leadership for Turning Point, who has 1,000 employees and tens of thousands of followers, might be interesting. Guy Benson, thanks so much. Appreciate your perspective. Can't wait for your radio show. Can't wait for your radio show today.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.